What's going on, everybody? So, as you guys know, I already made two videos talking about this topic. One of the videos was just my initial reaction, broke my heart, just couldn't stop crying. The second video with Tiffany Montgomery, I was talking about why they allowed this video to be posted all over the internet. If you guys remember during COVID, when you would try to upload certain videos that were speaking out against, Fauci and Bill Gates and all that stuff, like during the processing period, like the video would never get uploaded, right? If they because they could read it, right? And so they allow this video to be out there for fear. And so we talked about that. But I want to show you the ugly reality of what's going on right now. These people are really showing their true colors. And so I'm going to play some clips. There's some NFL players that have been responding. There have been a lot of guys who are saying, "Look, I can't be liberal anymore because the way you guys, are really just showing your behinds right now. It's really showing who really has that evil in their heart." And then we even saw the other day when they were in Congress and they wanted to pray for Charlie Kirk, and the people started screaming, "No, you already know who those individuals were." And then TMZ, while they were, live or whatever, and Trump announced that Charlie had passed, the staff started cheering in the background. And then I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull up this website because I actually got a notification when I pulled it up, but you can Google it for yourself. These witches trying to put a curse on Charlie. All right. It's if you just put in Google ETSY witches curse Charlie Kirk. I'll try to pull it up at the end, but it started slowing down. So I don't know if the government's trying to like take the tab down, but it actually gave me a notification that it was slowing down everything. Remember that they tried to do the same thing to Trump. And just a question for conversation: why don't you ever see witches trying to put curses on the other side? So, without further ado, I want to just get into these clips and some of these quotes so people can see it. As we said in the other videos, we're praying for Charlie, we're praying for his family. I believe that the FBI needs to go and investigate all of these people who are putting videos up. Now, many of you know, because I've talked about this before, January 6th. Um, I went up there, some people invited me and some other pastors to go, and we were up there just, I'm just praying. They had a tent, people were praying, they were doing worship. I recorded everything, and the FBI, they came to my house and, they really pressed me. And they were asking me questions like, do you hate Joe Biden? Are you thinking about doing something? And just, those kind of questions. And I'm like, man, look, I got the video. I was just walking around. I was just praying, right? I didn't do anything. I didn't post anything crazy. I didn't run in the building. Like I got invited with some other pastors, was down there. They had a tent on the side and they were leading worship. They were praying. And so I believe in being salt and light in the earth. I'll go anywhere. The same way y'all see me over here at the protest in Chicago, preaching in the street, the same way y'all see me in the hood, you know what I'm saying, preaching in the street, the same way I knew that God was with me when I was in Afghanistan and Iraq, the same way that I went up there and I like, hey, I don't mind going. I'll go anywhere because I know God is with me and see, like to be a difference. And so, the way that they came to me, I think that all of these people who posted these videos, celebrating Charlie Kirk's death, I think these people are dangerous. I think they need to be fired from their jobs. And I think that the FBI needs to go press them. Now, let me just a little bit of potentially good news. They just released this. They're saying this is the person of interest. All right. High powered rifle, including ammunition engraved with transgender anti-fascist ideology, was recovered in a wooded area where the suspected shooter fled. Person of interest in the killing. All right. And so that's good. Let's go into some of these clips because some of you need to see, the ugly reality of what is going on. Okay. It's just sick. And I think the FBI should pay these people a visit. All right. So this is Lamar Jackson. And I checked on Chat GPT because I wanted to verify, we live in a world where there's all kinds of fake, news and things like that. But this one is verified. Celebrating the death of someone you don't share the same belief with is wild. Seeing it play out in real time is disgusting. So props to him for saying that because that is the absolute truth. Okay. This is Des Bryant, former cowboy. Seeing people who are excited about Charlie Kirk dying are effed up human beings sending love to his family, right? And I'm glad that people are saying this with their platforms because, for a while, the way that they would paint it is just, conservatives are bad, conservatives are evil, conservatives are disgusting. But this is really making the demons manifest, and people are like finally seeing it for the first time. So, shout out Joshua Hines, you don't have to agree with Charlie Kirk or his views, but taking someone's life over differences is never justified. The whole situation is tragic. Prayers and condolences to his family and loved ones. All right, so that's good. CD Lamb apparently asking for a moment of silence before each game. That's good. There was a couple of other NFL players saying similar. We play for more than ourselves. We play for the vows that built this country. Unity must never be forgotten. So I love to see this because it's so sick, it's so bad. Now, this dean of students at MTSU, she just been fired because she was one of the ones who were celebrating, right? And remember, we always talk about how the universities are so, disgusting. Like, and a lot of the people in the universities are literally delusional. So, good news, she got fired. All right, this is one of those pages right here. Look at how many likes. Look at how many people are laughing and celebrating. It's really sick, and we need to take note of this. We do not want these people vote. All right, these people are going to school. These people are going to be in positions of power to be judges, lawyers, senators, mayors.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the fucking worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we fucking for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man?
I apologize. Me, I just like the people to see like the real raw. So I should have said something that he was going to be cussing. So I apologize about that. But it's good to see like there's some people, who have some common sense. So I'm gonna just let this play through so people can see it because some of you're still in denial. You need to see the ugly truth.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the fucking worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we fucking for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father, and whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best. And I can fucking respect that. And to see people just be blatantly disgusting, man, we're the worst, man. We're horrible.
Fucking news. Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking more. You see the fucking comments? I hope the gun is okay. The same fucking people asking for moral decency. I cannot in good faith align myself with you guys anymore. I once had a headache. You'll be all right. Because you don't agree with him politically? Okay. Whatever happens next, in retaliation, whoever did that shit, I hope they throw the whole fucking book at you.
Now notice, we don't have people marching in the streets, tearing stuff up. We don't have people out there looting and things like that. Take note of these things. Now, these next couple of clips is going to upset some of you, but I know there's people who are going to click on this video who need to see the ugly reality. All right, you have to understand, why are these people celebrating? As I said before, you don't have to agree with everything that he said, but for the most part, he was going to the university, standing on biblical principles, having a conversation. Think about this. He was willing to sit there with people who hated him, who were going to talk crazy to him, that were going to threaten him, and have an exchange of conversation, an exchange of his ideas. That was like the number one thing he pushed. Okay, we don't agree, but freedom of speech. Let's have an exchange of conversation. Let me hear your side. Let me hear your perspective. And now I'm going to let you hear mine. And for the most part, speaking against the LGBTQ agenda, speaking against, men and women's bathrooms, what a woman is, the common sense stuff that most of us know, most Christians subscribe to. That's what he was having conversations to combat, right? The delusion that was being spread in the universities. And so for him to have his life taken because you disagree, someone who is willing to sit and actually have a conversation. And as I said before, these people a lot of them, they don't want to have conversations. They want to force it on you through legislation. They want to force it on you through cancel culture, and they've been doing it for years. But I'll give my little spiel here at the end. But I want you guys to see. All right, this is the ugly reality right here.
Hey, so Charlie Kirk just got shot. Maybe there are good guys with guns out there. Update, Charlie Kirk is officially looking up at us, and I'm about to head to the grocery store because...
And let me say one more thing. I'm sorry. Let me say one more thing. The reason I'm posting these people's videos is because, like I said at the beginning, I think the FBI should go investigate these people. I think these people should be held accountable for this nasty, things that they're spreading online. If they're bold enough to post it, and I believe before they delete it, they need to be fired from their jobs.
Hey, so Charlie Kirk just got shot. Maybe there are good guys with guns out there. Update, Charlie Kirk is officially looking up at us, and I'm about to head to the grocery store because I'm making ribs tonight. Oh, but he was a man with a wife and kids. Yeah, and now they're safe from...
I just watched the close-up video of Charlie Kirk getting pewed in the neck. No fucking way he survives. So you know what time it is.
Charlie Kirk is dead. Suspect not custody. Wow, that's so awesome. I can't believe
sitting on live right now talking about how Charlie Kirk didn't deserve to get shot. Okay.
Yeah, we gonna celebrate because we got good guys.
I thought I was sad today. I thought I was gonna be sad, but Charlie Kirk did it.
no one should give a fuck that he's dead. He said it.
I'm not gonna lie. I watched that video of Charlie Kirk getting shot in the neck. I don't feel bad.
Charlie Kirk got shot and killed. How do you feel?
Happy. Goodbye.
Wow. Did you see that Charlie Kirk just got shot and killed?
That's good.
Wow. That's good. That's good that people are getting shot just on political view. Good that people.
Hi, Charlie Kirk. Like you said, people getting shot and killed for the Second Amendment is so worth it. I never thought we'd agree on anything. Bye.
I'm not saying she deserved it, but I'm saying God's timing is always right.
I just wanna be part of your symphony.
Live by the sword, die by the sword. He did say that gun deaths were an acceptable side effect of gun rights. Congratulations to Charlie Kirk for becoming the new poster child for gun awareness and violence.
This ain't funny, but it is.
Charlie Kirk is dead. Thoughts and prayers. I mean, yeah, thoughts and prayers.
Hey, black people, before you start, yes, Charlie Kirk got pew-pew. This is not our fight. They literally kill us for less. Do not get on here talking about, and no, just because.
And so you notice there's a common theme and there's a common look. Now, I don't usually ask this, but I would ask, especially you on Facebook, go ahead and share this video. These people need to be held accountable. And like I said, the FBI came to my house a couple of years ago, and I didn't post anything like that. I didn't say anything like that. I was literally walking around praying on January 6th. They had a prayer tent, okay? And they had their people were worshiping. I think it's called the Tent of David. And all I did was walk around praying the same way I go in the hood, the same way I preach in the streets, the same way I went when they were protesting and rioting. I believe that we are salt and light in the earth, and Christians need to go into these places and make a difference in the same way that Charlie went into these hostile universities where these people were being brainwashed, and he made a difference. And so I know a lot of those people, they're going to try to delete the video and things like that. The FBI needs to go investigate these people. And then some of you need to realize that these people vote. These people are dangerous because they are not only delusional, but they are emotional. When you have someone who is delusional and emotional, and then we're allowing these people in the voting booth, we have these people in the universities, we allow these people to be the teachers. And of course, you've seen some of the, especially these younger women we've seen in Congress, completely cuckoo right? Drafting our legislation. And why I talk about this for years is remember what happened to Daniel and the 3 Hebrew boys, right? Legislation. Remember what happened with Esther, Mordecai, and Naaman. Legislation. Imagine when these crazy people get the pen, and you have to see the ugly reality. So as we said, some of the NFL players were speaking up. I'm going to show you some more clips here. Let me stop this screen and share this one. Sad, man. And then, like I said, these witches were trying to put spells on him, and you got to ask, why are the witches always on the Democratic side? I know some of y'all don't want to hear that. Y'all mad at me, but it's true. Why do the witches only attack conservatives and Christians?
The chair would ask that all members present in the chamber and those in the gallery please rise for a moment of prayer for Charlie Kirk and his family. For what purpose does the gentlelady from Colorado rise? Shh. Let's wait a minute. Wait a minute. The House will be in order. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order. Shh. The House will be in order.
To find him. So I would think that that's one of the main reasons they're holding this news conference. So my guess is we're going to see an image of this guy possibly in the next 20 minutes. The news conference is scheduled for 3 o'clock in Utah time, which is 2 o'clock Pacific, 5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go.
So I want you to notice the timing of this, because TMZ tried to come out and say they weren't cheering for that or whatever. Look at what he's saying. This is happening live. So the people in the back that are cheering are getting the same information he's getting, and they're reacting to it. And you can tell by his body language and his body movements that he's like, oh, snap. Like, that's not a good look. You can tell he's processing it. Look at his body language.
5 o'clock Eastern. Janet, go to have somebody look at the Fox. Trump just posted that Charlie.
You hear it. So those people that were cheering in the back, they saw the news. That's what they were cheering for.
Charlie Kirk is dead.
All right, so is this ready to pull the trigger? We can get Trump cut in a second.
What did Trump say?
Yeah, who sent it?
So what did Trump say? Yeah, Trump just said he's dead. Yeah, he just said it. Okay.
Now, the reason I'm showing you this is because think about what I've been saying now for years, right? We are in a spiritual. Let me see if they're going to let me pull this up, because when I tried to pull it up, it was like it's slowing down your browser. So I don't know if the government is messing with this website, if they're trying to take it down. Let's see. They paid some witches. Oh, it looks like they took it down already. Give me one second, because I want you to see the ugly reality. All right, here we go. Let's see if it's going to work. It's going slow. Okay, here we go. Check this out. Yep, it's slowing down, but we're still going to pull it up. We paid some Etsy witches to curse Charlie Kirk. If the far-right misogynist with a bad haircut wants to villainize independent women, Jezebel is more than happy to be the hag of his nightmares. So notice, this is Jezebel.com. The internet has ruined me in 1,000 ways, but one of its strangest gifts is that I can now buy a curse as easy as I could buy a phone charger. On the mystical website Etsy, you can find a spell for just about anything. All right. And so it goes on, goes on. Who is Charlie Kirk? If you've never heard of him, I envy you. He debates college kids for sport, pops up on Fox News, and founded the right-wing conspiracy theory factory Turning Point USA, billed as a nonprofit. Turning Point is less about charity and more about funneling far-right propaganda into dorm rooms under the guise of educating young voters. Educating you on what? That a man is a man and a man can't be pregnant and a man shouldn't be in women's sports, and that only a man and a woman can reproduce. The universities are the ones that are doing the brainwash. That's why he was in there doing the work of the Lord. Let's see, let's skip through. You could go read it for yourself. Buying a curse naturally. I did what any serious journalist would do. I typed curse enemy into Etsy search bar, 5,000 results. The options were endless. Should I try karmic revenge, same day bad luck curse, or an insanity hex? Are my personal favorite simply hex Republicans. The reviews were their own kind of magic. 1 5-star review for a career crusher curse read, she has such a sweet, charming, bubbly personality. So not exactly the witches of Salem. And so you see, right? Think about this. For all of you who say you're Christian, think about this. The witches are saying we need to stop this guy. Think about that. I know some of you want to argue and you got a lot to say, but think about that. The witches are saying we got to stop this guy. We got to silence this guy. The LGBTQ and the drag queens, right? The ones pushing those agendas, who want you to use their pronouns, who want men in women's bathrooms, they're saying we got to stop this guy, right? We've seen these other countries talking about how the Democrats are destabilizing the country. And so, I'm going to show the clip one more time, the first clips that I showed. But one of the problems, and I said this the other day, is we got silent, we got politically correct. And I've been talking about this since I was in the Army, right? When Obama started drafting that legislation, they just want to love who they want to love. And it went from that to let them get married to let drag queens be in front of your kids, reading them books and twerking and dancing and having gay people half naked at the parade in front of kids, to where we just saw a video. Someone called the cops because these guys are out there free balling and they're saying, hey, why are these grown men nude? I think it was Portland or something like that. Why are these grown men naked in front of my children? And the cops' literal words were, it's okay for them to be naked as long as they're not getting sexual gratification out of it. We've seen what's happened in California, where people can just go in stores and grab whatever they want, and they say, hey, you can't touch me. So there's a sickness that is spreading through America. There's a delusion that's spreading through America. And the reality is, when you weigh it, I'm not saying that Republicans are better or Republicans are just completely the answer, but the reality is most of that stuff is being pushed through the Democratic Party. That's why I said I don't see how any Christian can vote for the people turning America into modern day Sodom and Gomorrah. And a lot of you get offended, and a lot of you black Christians, because I saw some of the posts, how are you a black Christian? Talking about the black church shouldn't be upset about this. The black church shouldn't be crying about this. First of all, if you're a Christian and the Bible talks, let's say you even considered him your enemy. The Bible says, bless those that curse you. Love your enemies. But y'all celebrating and y'all, you're not even a real Christian. Secondly, there is no black church, white church. There's just one church, which means there's one God, there's one way, there's one Holy Spirit, there's one truth. Some of you, because you see the lens, everything through the lens of your culture instead of the lens of kingdom, you always are wrong. You always have the wrong perspective, because your first identity is not you being a Christian. You look at it through the lens of me being black. So your loyalty is more to the culture than to the kingdom. You cannot tell me that you are a Holy Spirit-filled Christian who loves God and you're celebrating this or you're happy about this. You don't know God. You're the kind of person that'll stand before God and he's going to say, depart from me, I never knew you. Now, for those of you who came in late and didn't get to see the clips, I'm going to play it one more time. Everybody else, feel free to hop off. Share your thoughts in the comment section. And like I said, if you're on Facebook, go ahead and share this, because I really think before these people delete these videos, I think the FBI needs to go and investigate them. And so a lot of these NFL players have come out And they said this is just disgusting, the way that they're seeing people celebrate on TikTok and Instagram. And so shout out to all the NFL players who are speaking up. All right. You know, they're saying even if you don't support everything that Charlie Kirk says, you know, it was wrong what happened to him. So at least we got some guys with some platforms speaking up. Salute to them, respect to them. Okay. Because it needs to be said. Now, this lady just got fired from the school at the university for celebrating. Look at all the likes and the laughing.
As a registered Democrat, all I have to say is the Charlie Kirk shooting just proves that we are the worst, man. My party is the fucking worst. I got people celebrating, hoping that he dies. Are we fucking for real right now? Where's the empathy? Where's the respect, man? It's disgusting. It's disgusting, truly. And the fact of the matter is this: he was a father, and whether or not I agree with his political opinions, all he truly wanted to do at the core was see this country be the best. And I can fucking respect that. And to see people just be blatantly disgusting, man, we're the worst, man. We're horrible.
Fucking news. Charlie Kirk got shot in the fucking neck. That was the last bastion. I can't be a liberal no fucking more.
Let me educate this one person real quick since they wanted to pay $5. Let's put on screen. A true Christian wouldn't identify with any political party. That's division. We are one blindly following a politician while condemning them as sin. False, all right? Because the Bible says, be not ignorant of Satan's devices. In the same way, let me get on this big screen here, the same way that Satan uses the media, uses the entertainment, uses the music industry, uses Hollywood, uses the universities to spread his propaganda and you know, deception. Satan uses legislation and politics. So as Christians, the Bible says acknowledge God in all your ways and he will direct your path. So if you're going to vote and you're going to go to school and you're going to get a job, the Bible literally says in everything you do, acknowledge God. And so before you vote, I promise you, if you pray about it, God is not going to tell you to vote for the people that are indoctrinating our children. He's not going to tell you to vote for the people. Now, I know the go-to, right? Let me break this down real quick. I'm going to educate you. The argument is always, well, Republicans are racist. Let's say that that's true. I'm not going to argue with you. I'm going to give you, I got my little cough drops right here. I'm going to give you a live demonstration right now. Thanks for the $5. I'm going to help you out. And I've been teaching this for years. Let's say, boom, let's say Republicans are racist. Let's put that over here. Now, let's talk about what the Democrats do. All right. They are passing laws where they were even trying to make it where your child didn't have to tell you, right, if they wanted to get a sex change, right? They're passing laws where they want your tax dollars to pay for prisoners. We got so woke. If a prisoner wanted a sex change, they wanted your tax dollars to pay for that, right? They're the same ones who said, you know what, let's pass legislation for gay people to get married, even though that goes against God's order. They're the same ones who pushing for men in women's bathrooms and men in women's sports, right? They're the same ones who are pushing lawlessness, right? You see in California that these people can go into the stores and they can just grab anything, and by law, the legislation is backing them up where you can't touch me. And so they're doing it with a boldness. And oh, by the way, this is exactly what the Bible warns about, that lawlessness would abound. Okay. The same thing with the open borders. That's not wisdom. The Bible talks about, right? But we want to be so politically correct and woke that we're not using wisdom anymore. The same way that you lock your doors at night, all right, faithful over little, rule over much. When you're running a country, it is not wise to just let anybody in over the border, because there's always going to be someone who's evil, always somebody who's going to do wrong and try to take advantage of that. And we've caught terrorists at the border. We've seen what these guys in Islam are saying that they're going to do in America, right? We see how these Democratic politicians, Chicago, murder capital for years. We even have a nickname called Chirac. We saw what happened over the Labor Day weekend, right? And we saw how many people got shot, how many babies have gotten shot, how many young black men have gotten shot year after year after year. And then when Trump wants to come and do something about it, you've got them Democratic mayors and governors saying no, even though we see that it's working in DC. And I could keep going and keep going and keep going. And if you start weighing it and looking at the legislation, I understand. People say, hey, I don't, excuse me, I don't like Trump's personality. I don't like his tweets. I don't like some of Republicans' talking points, right? Okay, I'll give you two. But it doesn't match. It does not match when you weigh it as a Christian. And the Bible tells us to judge with righteous judgment. The ones that are turning America into a modern day Sodom and Gomorrah are the Democrats. Now, I'm not saying that all Republicans are saved and, you know, that's where we should put our hope. But listen, if you're going to vote, how are you going to vote for the people destroying America? Either don't vote at all or vote against that agenda. That's all I'm saying. And I could keep going, but I've done so many videos on that through the years, right? Make no mistake about it. We are where we are, at least just with the LGBTQ agenda. And you got to use the pronouns at the job. And remember when the guy was baking his cake and the gay couple came to his business and they were like, hey, we want you to put this on the cake. And he said, no, that goes against my Christian beliefs, right? And remember when Trump was running against Hillary Clinton and she was saying she wanted to put some liberal Supreme Court justices in there for the woman's right to choose. I mean, I'll give you the whole thing. I don't want to get into this because I've talked about it for years, but Obama, the first black president, they had him push the LGBTQ agenda. That was strategic, right? Because if anybody says anything, we'll just call them racist and we'll call them a homophobe. And then Hillary Clinton was anointed to be next, and she was supposed to push the feminist agenda. She was supposed to get in there and select some Supreme Court justices, you know, the whole Roe versus Wade and all of that kind of stuff. But it didn't happen. And then Kamala Harris came in as the Trojan horse. When they saw Trump won, they were so shocked, and it made them mad because he picked conservative Supreme Court justices. And if those Christian businesses had went to the Supreme Court and Hillary would have won, guess what? Hillary would have said, you better put that gay message on that cake. You got to bow down to the LGBTQ statue. You better use these pronouns or you're going to get fired. And that's what we're voting against. I'm not going to vote for the people that are going to persecute my faith. I'm not going to vote for the people that are trying to indoctrinate and brainwash and force this stuff on my children. It's not to say like, oh, the other person is just flawless. But when you weigh it, there's no way I can vote for that as a Christian. And so they were surprised when Trump won. So now they attach Biden because Obama can't run again. And Biden has a little bit of popularity, right? Because he ran with Obama. And then they put Kamala Harris, who was the Hillary Clinton replacement, right? And then think about what happened. You guys didn't vote for Kamala. She didn't win the primaries. Matter of fact, when she ran against the other Democrats, she did terrible. Bernie Sanders, who else was it that was there? She did terrible. There's no way Kamala Harris would have ever even been in contention to be president if they didn't do it the way that they did it. The way they had to do it is they told you, Biden, sit down, and we're selecting Kamala. That should have been suspicious to you, but she was just the Hillary Clinton replacement. Let me see what this person is saying. Both sides of politics are sin, just like Democrats are ruining kids. Republicans are hiding the Epstein. No, Republicans are not hiding it. Remember, Joe Biden had the files and everything, and I've talked about this before as well. And we've even had victims come out and say, no, Trump is not on there, right? So we've had the victims come and say that. What I think happened, now this was my one criticism, a big criticism that I had of Trump. You know, we're going to drain the swamp. We're going to drain the swamp. I personally think that it's so bad and so disgusting and so ugly, the people that are on the list. It's not just American politicians. I believe they're foreign dignitaries because we know, what was it, Prince Andrew and some other people. I think that when they saw it, just like I was in the military, you had to have a security clearance. We knew that we were going to Iraq. We knew we were going to Afghanistan. But when you're a private and you're a specialist and you're a sergeant, you don't have access to some of the information that the commander does and the sergeant major does and the first sergeant does, right? And the, you know, the higher ranks. And so I think that they looked at it and they said, we can't release this. because it's not a good look for America, and people are going to lose faith in America. And then other countries, it could be a national security threat, because if they get a hold of this, that's what I personally believe. I think that the swamp is way bigger than they ever imagined, and if they released it, it would just be bad. That's what I personally believe. So I think they probably justify it by thinking it's wisdom not to release it to the people. They probably think the American people can't handle it. Do I agree with that? No. But the reality is Charlie Kirk, all right, they did what they did to him because he was a voice of truth. Point blank, period. All right, let me see. This thing is kind of glitching now, probably because they're trying to mess with my stream. I might have to, let's see. Yeah, they always do this. So I might just end the stream. If you want to watch the clips from earlier, because everything's frozen, you can just watch the clips from the very beginning. Like I said in the other videos that I made, praying for his family. We gotta just stand. We gotta be bold. We gotta realize this is a spiritual battle. The reason you see these people celebrating is because they're influenced by demonic spirits. That's why, like I said before, you never see, think about this. The witches want to silence Charlie Kirk. The witches wanted to stop Trump. The witches didn't want to stop Biden. They didn't want to stop Kamala. They want to stop Charlie Kirk. They want to stop Trump. How can you not, just off of that alone, if you claim to be a Christian, how does that not make you say, Because darkness likes darkness. Evil is going to rock with evil. Evil is not going to try to stop evil. The witches are like, no, we got to curse this man. Something to think about. www.marcusrogersministries.org if you want to support what we're doing here in Chicago. You can also use that Cash App, Marcus Rogers, MOG. Love you guys. Be blessed. Go check out the other videos that we posted upon this topic, because I just feel that people need to be informed and they need to see it. God bless. All right, let me do they're really messing with my whole system right here. If you got a prayer request, feel free to put it in the comment section as well. Interesting.